Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be talking about the way that the media portrays beauty can have a lasting effect on men and women, and it is important to know that it can be avoided. Have you ever been scrolling through Instagram and you see an ad for a product claiming that if you use it, all of your biggest insecurities will just go away? Or have you ever been scrolling through Instagram or TikTok and you see someone with a perfect body and it makes you feel like you're not good enough or that you need to look like them to be pretty and to fit in? If you've ever felt like this, you're not alone. Many people all over the world are heavily influenced by the beauty standards that the media promotes to the public. The media should not be allowed to promote certain beauty standards because it affects impressionable young girls and boys' body image, and the beauty standard is often unrealistic and unattainable to achieve. First, I will discuss what the media promotes and what beauty standards they promote. Secondly, I will be discussing how these beauty standards affect young boys and girls, as well as older men and women. And finally, I will be discussing how these certain beauty standards can be avoided. I have been a victim to the detrimental effects of trying to live up to the impossible beauty standards that the media constantly throws at me. As someone who is on the plus side of things, it can be very harmful to my mental health some days when all I see while scrolling through social media are people that look nothing like me and are getting amazing responses about how they look. It has taken me a long time to understand that everyone is beautiful in their own way, and that's what makes you unique. So let's talk about what exactly the media promotes. The media often feeds off of boys and girls' biggest insecurities and uses it for marketing. The media will often tell you that if you're not skinny enough and don't have curves in the right places, you are not pretty. If you have wrinkles or stretch marks, it makes you less appealing. If you don't have perfectly clear skin and you have textured skin, you're not pretty enough. The list just goes on and on. You might see an Instagram model post a picture in a bikini showing off her thin stomach, holding up a weight loss tea supplement with the caption saying that this product is her secret to her toned physique. This sends a message to her followers saying that taking supplements, diet pills, and detox teas are the best way to achieve her body shape, which in reality is way far from the truth. In an article from Bradley University titled Body and Beauty Standards, it explains that in one point in time, full-bodied women with broad hips and ample breasts were considered the most beautiful. In societies such as Fiji, large bodies are a symbol of one's status and power. But as social conditions and the gender roles change, so do ideas about beauty. In the 1960s and 70s, beauty ideals for women shifted from the mature, curvaceous bodies of stars such as Marilyn Monroe to the stick-thin, flat-chested figure epitomized by supermodels such as Twiggy or Kate Moss. These changes in the ideas about beauty can be very harmful to people, which brings me to my next point, the effects beauty standards have. Remember when I asked you when scrolling through social media, you see someone with a perfect body and it makes you think that you're not good enough or pretty enough? If you agreed, know that you're not alone. Social media loves to feed off of your insecurities. A study done by YouGov America in 2020 found that nearly 9 in 10, which is 89% of Americans, agree that physical appearance, at least somewhat, matters in today's society. They also found that 76% of US adults say that the media promotes an unattainable body image for women and 52% for men. Not only are there negative mental effects to trying to live up to a certain beauty standard, but there are also negative physical effects as well. So far, we've covered what the media specifically promotes and how it affects boys and girls, men and women all around the world. So to wrap up, I want to discuss how we can avoid these toxic advertisements altogether. However, we can't stop what the media promotes altogether, but there should be more restrictions to what they post, and we can focus on what we are giving our attention to. In an article by Pulse.ng, it says that there is a positive correlation between the rise of social media and the rise in eating disorders among men and women. Going back to the first article I mentioned from Bradley University, it mentions an article written by Victoria Hoft and Olivia Hancock, where they talked about a study done where the results of more than 1,000 Americans say that the ideal female body is 5'5", about 130 pounds, and has a 26-inch waist. It would be almost impossible to achieve this ideal body without using any unharmful and unhealthy means. There have been a few brands over the years that have worked towards redesigning themselves to be more body inclusive. Body positivity has become a huge deal in the past few years. In 2014, Ari by American Eagle launched a campaign centered on beauty positivity and inclusion. This movement was so important in redefining beauty standards by encouraging young women to love their own bodies. Other brands that have followed in their footsteps include CVS, Dove, Target, ASOS, and many, many more. With all this being said, you can see that it is not impossible to be body inclusive. So why do brands continue to promote negative and impossible beauty standards when the negative impacts are there? The media should be stricter on what advertisements are allowed to be shown as a way to decrease the negative effects unrealistic beauty standards can create in people all over the world. In today's video, I first discussed what the media promotes and what beauty standards they promote. Second, I discussed how these beauty standards affect young women and men. And finally, I discussed how these certain beauty standards can be avoided. In conclusion, the media can be a very harmful place if you let it be, but realizing your worth is one step closer to defeating the unrealistic beauty standards that society has embedded in our minds.